from a party that left a broken welfare system that is failing the people who depend on it and failing taxpayers. They had 14 years to put it right, and we know what their legacy is. Honourable members will see the proposal soon, but we will not shy away from the decisions that we believe are right to give opportunities to people who can work, security for those who can't, and get the welfare bill on a sustainable footing.
My constituents in Eastleigh who support and help care for disabled family members are desperately concerned about any potential cuts to benefits, including personal independence payments. They include Laura, whose son is registered blind, and Debbie, who helps care for her disabled daughter and is herself disabled. Can the Minister reassure my constituents that disability benefits for people who are unable to work will not be cut?
Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I am concerned about the level of anxiety there has been around over recent weeks and speculation, and I'm sad that that's happened and that people have been concerned. But what I would say to her is that the current welfare system is failing the very people it is supposed to help, the people it is there for. And our aim is to make the system sustainable so that it'll be there for people now and in the future. And I think when she sees the proposals, she'll see how we're going to deliver on that commitment.
The Telegraph today has done a right hatchet job on the most socially deprived ward in my constituency. And the people of the East Marsh, quite frankly, are sick and tired of journalists taking a day trip and coming and writing their poverty-porn stories about people who are proud and keen to play their part in society in every way that they possibly can. They've sought to pit older people against younger people, highlighting the neat records. The young people in that ward are as keen to work as anybody else, but they need the jobs to do it. What discussions is she having about trade?
Well, there'll be no greater representative for her constituents than my right honourable friend, who rightly says they want the right chances and choices and support to work as anybody else. That's why we're creating more good jobs in every part of the country through our modern industrial strategy. We're improving the quality of work and making work pay through our employment rights bill, and our Get Britain working plan will give the work, skills and...
See, it's topical. I've got a few members still get in. Peter Bedford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And
Mr. Speaker, now for weeks the government's active trailing of welfare cuts has generated genuine fear. Disabled people in Brighton Pavilion are writing to me in literal terror. So will the Secretary of State apologise for this and reassure the public that actual benefit changes will not take place this calendar year or without parliamentary votes in this House?
Minister.
Well, the honourable member, first of all, I recognise there has been a good deal of anxiety, and I regret that that has occurred. But there won't be long to wait. The proposals will soon become clear, and I think she will welcome a great deal of the changes that we want to make.
Rachel Maskell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. York, as a human rights city, believes that disabled people should be at the heart of all decision-making. So could the Minister say how disabled people have formed his views in bringing these changes forward and have been at the heart of the decision-making here?
Well, my honourable friend is right, and we have in our manifesto a very firm commitment that the views and voices of disabled people should be at the heart of everything we do. So over the last week, I've had discussions with a number of disabled people's fora, and when we come forward with our proposals shortly, we will be consulting very extensively with disabled people and their organisations about the right way forward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And will the Minister confirm that those people in receipt of disability benefits but profoundly cannot work will not face a cut in their benefits? Thank you.
I would say to the honourable gentleman, just as the right honourable member, the Minister for Social Security and Disability, we know that people, there will always be people who cannot work because of the nature of their disability or health condition, and those people will be protected.
The disability employment gap stands at 30%, and countless disabled workers end up out of work because their employers refuse to make simple changes that would help them do their jobs. Does the Minister agree that the default right to flexible working in Labour's Employment Rights Bill will help many disabled workers to keep jobs they love? And what else can her department do to help more disabled people to find and keep work?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may I say how great it is to hear the beautiful language of Irish spoken in this chamber. With regards to flexibility, I do think with the increase in conditions that can be very variable over time, that flexible working right will help people. And the Minister for Disabled People and I are working very closely with disabled people's organisations and charities and others to think about how we can build those pathways into work as we change job centres and improve employment support, making sure that raising the disability employment rate is at the heart of those changes.
The Minister for Employment and Disabilities was kind enough to come to the launch of the What Comes After Education report by the National Star and the Together Trust. One of the key findings of that report is that young people with disabilities face particular problems when trying to access work. The system is set up against them, workplaces are set up not to work for them, and all they want to do, many of them, is just do what they can to find meaningful employment. So when ministers are making decisions about upcoming welfare changes, I hope that report will be on their desk and it will be properly considered.
Secretary of State.
Absolutely, and the Honourable Gentleman will indeed be hearing more about our plans, which will include proper employment support to help people on a pathway to success. We have our Keep Britain Working review led by the former boss of John Lewis, Charlie Mayfield, which is looking at precisely this issue. What more can employers do with the support from government to create healthier, more inclusive workplaces and help do more to guarantee that disabled people who can work have the same rights and choices to work as everybody else?
It's right that the welfare system supports those with disabilities. However, does the Secretary of State agree with me that social media influencers that are teaching people to game the Motability system in order to get free vehicles is a disgrace? And if so, what does she intend to do about it?
Minister.
Well, the honourable gentleman will be aware that this falls under the umbrella of wider fraud. We inherited an appalling level of fraud in the welfare system under the previous government. Our fraud bill goes some way to tackling that as part of a broader package, £8.6 billion, the largest ever package brought forward to tackle fraud.